So if the question is, can my QA or can a QA be non-clinical? The answer is yes, but. And the but is that there still needs to be a clinician who ultimately reviews the thing. It just doesn't have to be your QA. It could be your DON. And so when you're in this, or whoever it is that's clinical in your office. So if you are in a small agency, small enough that the DPCS can be hands-on and have the capacity, time capacity to review all the critical elements, great. You can have a non-clinical QA starter, because truly it is a waste of your DPCSs and your designees or your nursing supervisor, whoever that is, their time, or case manager, whatever. It is a big waste of their time if they're out here checking your chart for like, did the person put their title? Did they time the order? Did, whatever, all these like little details like this. You want to use if you have a non-clinical QA, you really want to use them for, here's some cool things you can use them for. Signature requirements. Are all the pieces here? This is a really good, like, oh, cool, you gave me an admission package. You admitted a patient and you gave me the admission package. But your, this is silly, but like the consent is missing or whatever, right? Like, so just checking a checklist of like, are all the big pieces here? Number one. Because if your DPCS or whoever is reviewing a chart and there's like critical elements missing, like that's just whatever time they've spent reviewing that chart is just a big waste of time, because chart review can only happen in full. That doesn't mean the whole chart has to be there, but the whole chart up to that point has to be there for it to make any sense. So if you are reviewing a chart and let's say you're like 3 weeks into the treatment and you have notes up to 2 weeks into the treatment, congratulations, you reviewed 2 weeks of chart. You haven't, and like, let's say you have a couple of the third week notes, but not all of them, right? Like there's multiple disciplines and stuff. You have really only reviewed 2 weeks of that chart. You have not reviewed 3 weeks of that chart. You've reviewed the amount of chart that is complete, because every additional little piece that comes in could fully change the dynamic of what's going on there clinically. I am not a clinician, so I'm not like, out here reviewing charts all day long, but I've been in the industry enough where as a non-clinician, I could look at a chart and I can find you most survey deficiencies that a surveyor could find. Not hyperclinical problems or problems in hypercritical. Like I can't do a wound care. I can't do the things, but I can read the things and tell you if things are missing, at least on the level that you would get like a deficiency at surveying.